Good morning, folks. It's been a while. Just got back from interstate, had a little break, and went up to New South Wales. There's a bit more freedom up there, and Victoria's still a little bit too closed down for what it needs to be. So went up to New South Wales and spent a bit of money up there. I thought I'd better do a bit of a catch up, and I'm having a morning cuppa with you. It's very early here. It's just become light, and I'm in the glass house again. It's still mainly empty, and veggie garden behind. Another hot house there. So that's the setting. I've just got a couple of couches out here in the glass house, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. But anyway, on to the updates. Regards to linguistics, and it's been found in crop circles. Probably been since about mid to late November. I think I might have been talking on video the last time. I'd made about 4.5 hours of video, and I sort of had some luck in finding somebody that might want to help me get this discovery, news of this discovery out to the world. And anyway, that didn't pan out. Long story, and no hard feelings, but that looks like it's just sort of a dead end. It didn't feel right, so I didn't want to proceed. There's too much at stake, and yeah, so we'll just leave it there. Everything's got to be sort of working for you. Otherwise, this could all fall apart very fast. So I also had a journalist, well-known journalist, that was I'd contacted, and he's now responded to me and said, I'll talk to you after Christmas, say good day. And I haven't heard anything yet. Bit of a shame. I think he'd be shocked to discover what he's leaving on the table at the moment. As many people will be for leaving this on the table for well over 4 years now. The months are just rolling by. I'm currently doing a analysis over the now more than 7,000 crop circles worldwide, and I'm just categorising any that have linguistic potential, and I think it's important to have some of those statistics, and it's certainly going to be sort of the questions that are going to be asked of me. And it's an area that I have to have the figures and know a little bit I can't possibly do everything. I'm spread really thin. It's a huge body of works. It's probably designed for lots and lots of scientists. It's been discovered, and I'm only one. So there's a lot of times where I, partially I start something, I figure out the gist of it, and leave it there as it works to be continued another time, and just move on because I've glimpsed the next discovery, and that just seems to continue right through the whole process here. I do finish some things that I consider really important to complete and polish up, but there is so much being discovered. It's clear that, as I said, this body of information was designed for a lot of people, from a lot of scientific disciplines to study, and so that's what happened. So I haven't heard from the journalist, and so they said he's contacted me and said I'll be in contact after Christmas, but he's obviously not realising how important this is. And there's a body of texts that's been taken from a close encounter that happened in Georgia in America. I'm referring to the CJ scripts that have been deciphered by Dr. Horace Drew. G'day, Dr. Drew. Thanks for all your works there, and Linda Moulton Howe for founding all that. Anyway, the script, the CJ script that's been deciphered, seems to explain the properties of the linguistic discovery very well, and because the linguistic discovery, the properties of it are so rare. I wouldn't say rare. It's the first time ever that something has had these sort of properties. It's very easy to see that the CJ script is referring to this particular linguistic discovery. In quite a lot of detail, actually. There's quite a few lines of that CJ script that seem to refer to this linguistic discovery. One of the main aspects of the linguistic discovery is the huge volume potential of the message storage within a relatively simple cross-circle geometric form. So, that's one of the main properties of this linguistic discovery, and when you read the CJ script, it talks about a large vessel that should come under study. And so I think, because of that factor and other factors, I think that that's what the CJ script is referring to. And as time passes by, I'm finding more and more similarities to that script. So I've now done a graphic, and that's available to look at, and that helps explain some of the similarities. So at the moment, I'm thinking very strongly that's what that script was about. The script tells me to go through phases where I try to reach the just the people on the street, the UFO community. It speaks of that to me. It's my interpretation of it anyway. And it talks about going through a phase of trying to do that. And what I've just realised, it's got in square brackets, it's got 12 LY, and we've always wondered what that might mean, come up with different things. But I've just realised that, and I'm trying to do a proper count at the moment, I've just realised that I've written to about 12 researchers, 12 very well-known researchers, with my what's termed as an executive overview summary of the discoveries, and they've all been non-responded. And I'm thinking, well, that's sort of, over something this important to the world, I think that's lying by omission. And so 12 ly could be seen as a lie. 12 lie by omission. And that's just some little interesting point there. So what happens when I get through the 12? Well, I'm at if the count's right, I'm at about 12 shortly. And that doesn't include minor contacts with people where I only did a page or two of explaining what's been found that have also not responded. So it's been a long journey. Yeah. That's also included in the CJ script, the journey. It says O journey. And I'm an Australian in Australia, and our emergency number is 000. And the text, the CJ script says, embrace this O journey, sort of thing. So I think they're asking you to embrace what I have to present to you. And then the next stage of the script after that looks like I start to reach out to more your professional signals intelligence groups. It looks like I give up on trying to reach the researchers and start to try and reach out to the signals intelligence groups. And we know that legislations in America and the laws are changing over there on reporting through this report to Congress, the ongoing report to Congress. And so we know there's more of a drive to go to the official track anyway. And it might be more fruitful, although I think they'll make it secret, and I think it'll be totally lost from these UFO researchers that you see that have a large presence on the World Computer Network. I think they'll lose it. I think it'll go secret, and that'll be a shame. After having spent well over 4 years now trying to reach them and being ignored. So, and I haven't presented a lot of online works. I'd say I've presented sufficient to spark an interest where there's a conversation happening, which is all I've really ever asked for, is just a conversation to start to happen. And that's what's needed, because the properties of this discovery, there are a lot of sensitive properties that you just can't come out with. There are time-independent messages that you could poo-poo, but you'd probably poo-poo them at first. But as you got further into this linguistic discovery, you'd have that oh shit moment, and sort of realise it's all true, and then that presents a problem. Because suddenly you've got somebody with a vast body of time-independent messages that predict things. And it's been proven time after time. That's one of the major aspects. They just keep repeatedly trying to prove they are time-independent messages. They have for years. Well over a decade they've been doing that. Time after time after time after time. It's repeating over again, showing off that they know what's going to happen into the future. I don't think that's an aspect I want to get heavily into. You just need to follow this along in a from the point of view of how it all works to start to understand that. Reaching for my coffee. So yeah, I've got a lot to report. There's so many years of things now to report on, what's happened along the way, and the longer it gets ignored, the more history there is to, more story there is to tell. Yeah. Good coffee. So I thought I'd just have a bit of a rant here today. So the 4.5 hours of video that I made before, I think I'll probably have to do quite a bit of editing. I didn't have any time to edit those. I just did them without any sort of polish or any cuts or anything like that. It was just end to end and just put them out. But since then, things have become very sensitive with these researchers over the internet that have this high profile. They're all fighting with each other, and if I put my stuff out there and it just becomes part of the big fight, that's not what any of us want. That won't get us anywhere. So it looks like I will go down the track of doing my own videos. I'm not a polished professional, I'm not a professional speaker or anything like that, and probably it's always best to make videos with the same backdrop and settings so that you can edit and bring it in, but I'll probably have to make them all over the place and sew them together, so every few minutes you'll see me in different clothes and different place, and it'll look pretty ragtag. But anyway, that's probably how I'll have to do it. I just don't have the setup or stability in the operating area here. So I suppose there's a lot of people in that situation. I just think it's better to make the informational videos, even if they're not professionally made, and just get the information out there. And so it's going to be, one of the problems is it's probably going to endanger me. There's going to be a lot of people not liking something this powerful to be released. None of it's secret. So basically this guy's done crossword puzzles except with crop circles and made a series of discoveries, and it's turned out to be something very significant, and so don't kill the messenger, and let me get this out there. But I do think people will see it as very, very dangerous. I didn't put those magic properties in the discoveries, so somebody else did. I'm just the messenger. So I've got to find a way of getting this discovery across to everybody, explaining how it works. But the catch-22 is, if I explain how the linguistics works, then enemy countries they'll have the method to extract the messages, and they'll get the intelligences that they shouldn't have their hands on. And if I just show the messages, then I haven't shown the proofs of how it's done, so people are less inclined to believe you. So it's sort of this catch-22 situation. It's been a hard one to know how to proceed with, and you can see how it's going for me. Every time I try and find a way to get this out to the world, it's like I'm operating on shifting sands, and there's no cooperation between researchers, it's not a friendly environment, and it's fallen apart even further. So it's been hard to know what to do. I don't have any viable contacts who are professionally trained as so that I could use right now. I could start to engage some contacts and bring them in. That might take a year or two to bring people in and get them on board. So I'm thinking at the moment I'll give these videos a go and just see how that goes to get some of the information out there and just see what the responses are. I've taken down the videos that I had up. I think it's 5 or so videos or something like that. I've taken them down and I've just left the 2 main ones up. It's really only the first one you need to watch. The second one is just confirming that the discoveries were indeed real, and it doesn't really add a lot more information. So I'll mainly use that first video that I've made. The third one in the series is probably going to be very controversial. It's a video made with lots and lots of quick links for researchers, but yeah, it's really a few videos need to come out before that one to explain things. So obviously I've got some more thinking to do, and obviously I'm working on shifting sands all the time, and of course things could change suddenly. The journalist could contact me and say, "Oh, hello, what's going on?" And I don't want to keep sending things to his private email and filling his box up with more information. It's going to take years for him to sort through or whatever. So there's either some interest there or there's not in what might be going on. I'm hinting on that person's Twitter page about some of the different aspects, and I'm all over the internet. I have got stuff everywhere all over the internet about this. I've had accounts closed. So there's not that much to refer back to now. But in a couple of years since the main account was closed on Twitter, I've managed to re-establish a little bit of stuff, but I'm not going in with as much gusto this time. People are not responding to it, so if there's no interest, I might as well just stick my head in the closet and talk to the closet about all of this. So it's really up to you guys to show an interest, and if you do that, I can show you some amazing things. But until that interest is there, this is pretty much dead, going nowhere. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble a bit there, so I reckon I might just pause it for a minute. Okay, just had a bit of a sip of my coffee and had a few other thoughts. So I was trying to get together an email list of these, researchers that have a high public profile, who tell everybody that they are desperate for any little bit of information and show themselves picking apart every little detail of every crumb that they can find around the world of anything new to do with UFOs. And what do you think between the lines there a little bit? And anyway, I've tried to get an email list together for these people, and I'm sort of wanting to ask them, okay, could I take you through this discovery with a blind carbon copy email list where they don't see each other's emails? But then I can send out one bulk contact to explain this discovery. But you can't seem to track down their email addresses, and I think there's a little bit of an international barrier that they don't realise is there. If most of these researchers are American, a lot of them are, and I'm pretty sure in America you can track down their email addresses pretty easily. But once you have an international boundary, there are actually filters that stop that from happening as easily. In a lot of cases, I'm noticing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems to be a lot harder. And I've had people say to me, look, just look up my email address. And, I can spend hours and hours and hours trying every search I can think of to track down this person's email address, and you cannot track it down. So I don't know why a researcher who wants every skerrick of information doesn't have an email address on their main contact page. Why would you do that? If you're supposedly after every skerrick of information, every crumb from people, why wouldn't you have A, an email address, but B, a secure email address for people who want to contact you securely? So I'll leave it up to you people to decide what's really going on there. So I don't think I would do that. I think if I was genuinely a person that wanted to know everything going on, I would definitely put my email address out there. Even if it was overwhelmed, at least the numbers of emails and contacts would be there to explore. But to put a wall up so nobody can find you and contact you, regardless of the volume of emails, it just seems very suspicious to me. So I don't know. What do you guys think out there? I mean, that's pretty strange to me. So you go and have a look at all these high-profile researchers, and a few of them will have email addresses that you can contact them via, that they don't respond to, incidentally, but at least they have their email addresses. But some of them just have nothing. There's no way to contact them. And, seen on the shows, they say, oh, just contact us. Oh, yeah, we're really hungry to hear from people. Just contact us. And they'll have a friend of a friend of a friend that you contact to get to them, sort of thing. And you do that, and there's no response. Things are failing because of that. A person like me who makes a major discovery, I needed to find a home within a couple of hours at the most, not over 4 years, not well over 4 years. So the system really needs honing, and I'm being very critical on some of these things in the hope that they'll improve. But often these researchers see that as a criticism to get angry about and respond angrily about, I notice. Not to me, I've had very little problem, but that seems to be what's going on at the moment. It's all just infighting. So it's a shame, really, because they're just dysfunctional and not at a time when they need to pull together. And I don't think they realise that there's people out here that have things to talk to them about that are just not going to go near them because of the fighting, and some things need to be discussed first before they hit the public interface, before they're talked about in public. And I can't get that conversation going to explain the sensitivities to these researchers so that they don't go out there and do a lot of damage and endanger themselves and endanger me and get things wrong before they get things out to the public. So there needs to be a discussion behind closed doors to comprehend something before it goes out into the world potentially. So, and there could be even a lot of discussion on sensitive things that you know can't be released to the world at the moment, that you know would be pulled down. So, but at least researchers would know what's going on behind closed doors, and to take it into their consideration regards the bigger picture that we're all trying to solve. So that's a bit of a sad aspect. Anyway, I'll finish the video there, and won't be long before I come and have another ramble, and when I've had a few more thoughts and get a bit more info out to you. And so thanks for listening if you've stayed with me through this, and I hope to make a few more videos and put them up and see what we can get happening, and if I can get it out, you're going to be absolutely amazed at what's happened over the last 4 years regards this series of discoveries. So cheers folks, thanks for listening, and bye for now.